Kicking off our countdown of close-quarter battle weapons is a gun that needs no introduction. In 10th place, it's the most famous submachine gun in the world, the Uzi.
In its heyday, this was the submachine gun to which all others were measured.
It's successful because of its function, and it functions flawlessly.
Being more than 50 years old, that says a lot about the quality, the accuracy, and the construction of this weapon system. The Uzi was originally conceived in approximately 1949 by a man by the name of Uziel Gal.
He became a soldier in the freedom fighters of Israel during their war for independence in 1948, and he began developing a small, compact submachine gun that would be very useful in the climactic conditions of the Mediterranean.
But the Uzi's compact design carried it far beyond the desert battlefield. It soon became the weapon of choice for personal security agents worldwide.
Security details would use this. It's easy to move inside a building. It's easy to move inside a vehicle with this weapon system. And security details that are following a principle and such can keep this concealed, don't overtly show that they are armed with a submachine gun. Some of the security units have come up with a under-the-shoulder holster that allows the weapon system to be concealed and then deployed, and the stock will actually deploy as the shooter pulls it out of his shoulder holster.
It was on just such a security mission, while protecting President Reagan, that the Uzi achieved its legendary status.
One of the most iconic images of that afternoon is of a Secret Service agent standing guard with an Uzi submachine gun while the presidential limousine makes a getaway.
The fact that the U.S. Secret Service carried this weapon system to protect our president is proof as to how accurate, reliable, and robust this weapon system is.
That image of that Secret Service agent holding that Uzi aloft as a symbol that this is under control, back off, was a very powerful image.
The Uzi may be a little short on stopping power by today's standards, but that's purely down to its smaller round.
A 9mm Uzi submachine gun shoots a 9mm pistol round. It is a close quarters battle weapon. The engagements are within 100 meters. You just have to keep in mind that this is a pistol caliber weapon.
Compared to modern submachine guns, the Uzi does carry more weight, but this can be an advantage.
The heft behind this weapon system helps keep it accurate, helps keep it on target. The shooter isn't having to pull in and down on the weapon system so much and worry about high rates of fire pulling the barrel up and away from the target because of the weight.
And the cost of the weapon has also proved to be significant.
The Uzi's popularity rests in its function. It works. Anything that works is going to find a great audience. It's not an expensive weapon to manufacture. There are a lot of stamped parts in it, so it's not. It doesn't represent a huge drain on your budget if you're trying to outfit a police force, security force. But the thing works. It works all the time.
In fact, the original design worked so well, it spawned a whole family of weapons.
There were other additional models that came out in the early 80s. A mini Uzi and a micro Uzi that are a little bit smaller have a different type of stock system.
The neat thing about the Uzis as they get smaller is they get faster. The first Uzi fired about 600 rounds a minute. The mini Uzi fires 900, and the macro Uzi fires 1,200 rounds a minute.
The Uzi's phenomenal success today is simply because they got it right in the first place.
I think the thought process and the forward thinking of Mr. Gal when he developed it accounts for how popular it was. He was heads and tails above everyone when this system came out. Essentially, 4 to 5 years after World War II ended, he came up with this idea And still to this day, over 50 years later, this is still an ideal weapon system in the close quarters battle environment because of his thought process and forward thinking.
The Uzi has been used the world over. Not only is it manufactured in Israel, but FN in Belgium is manufactured it. Over 90 countries of the world have adopted the Uzi either for their military or for their protective services. The Uzi, over 2 million of them have been manufactured. It's just a worldwide weapon. The United States, Germany, all over the world have found to rely on the Uzi.
Now more than 50 years old, the Uzi is still going strong, even with its limited stopping power. Low cost, rapid rate of fire, and battle-tested reliability have earned it 10th place among our ultimate close-quarter battle weapons.
The future for the Uzi is unwritten. The Uzi can keep pace with the continuing and developing technology. It'll be used far into the 21st century as well.